You're watching Newsline 14, live on Topper Station.
Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
And I'm Anya Ritz. Let's see what's happening on the hilltop in the national and local news.
Russia launched attacks on major cities in Ukraine on Thursday, February 24th. The invasion is happening after President Vladimir Putin declared war in a television address. The capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, and other cities were launched with explosions and gunfires. After the fruitless talks of diplomats from Western leaders, Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky says an invasion could be the beginning of a big war on Europe. The U.S. and other Western countries have issued sanctions on Russian entities and other officials. Ukrainian forces are fighting the invading Russian troops for the control of Kyiv, the capital city.
Many states have lifted their mask mandates, but if you are planning on traveling, you may want to still bring a mask with you. If you are traveling by plane, train, or any other form of transportation for spring break, you will still need to wear a mask. U.S. airlines have required passengers to wear masks since May of 2020. The mandate has been extended 3 times since it has gone into effect. The federal mask mandate has been met with resistance from some passengers. The Federal Aviation Administration has reported that there have been 397 incidents of unruly passengers in 2022. Passengers who refuse to comply with the mask mandate are met with fines and other consequences. The current mask mandate is in effect until at least March 18th.
A woman from California was jailed for 13 days after being mistaken for a person with the same name. The California woman was headed for a trip to Mexico from Los Angeles International Airport, but instead spent 2 weeks in jail. After the police mistook her for another Bethany Farber, she filed a wrongful arrest lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles in federal court. According to the lawyer, the LA Police Department did not even confirm her identity with a photo, birth date, social security number, and booked her. Ferber says that she repeatedly asked the officers to double-check her identity, but they completely blew her off. Ferber is seeking compensatory and punitive damages.
Levi James Harvey was born 13 weeks early, weighing only 9.6 ounces or 0.6 pounds. At the time of birth, Levi's parents, Damon and Rachel Harvey, were in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The Harveys were rushed to the high-risk pregnancy unit in Erlanger Hospital. Rachel underwent an emergency C-section. The doctors managed to buy the Harveys 2 weeks until it was time to deliver. Doctors told the Harveys for Levi's viability to survive, he must be 1 pound. His gestational growth was only 21 weeks. It was the smallest ever in Erlanger Hospital. There is a GoFundMe for the Harveys who continue to face hospital bills and stay costs. You can go to GoFundMe.com and search for Baby Levi James Harvey, Our Little Warrior.
Due to a unanimous vote by the Marshall County School Board last Thursday, a new mask update is in store. As of Friday, February 25th, Marshall County School staff and students are no longer required to wear masks. Those who prefer to wear a mask are more than welcome to do so. COVID management will now be monitored on a school-by-school basis instead of a county-wide basis. Free at-home COVID tests will be distributed to students and staff if symptoms are shown. For more information, Visit Marshall County Schools website at boe.mars.k12.wv.us. We'll be right back after the break with campus news.
Stay around to hear how a sorority is helping in the local Wheeling community here on Newsline 14.
Sources of stress are everywhere. Stress can make you feel trapped, but there are ways to manage it. Stress is inevitable, but you can learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, and how to respond to it well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, get emotional support, breathe, and find ways to calm down.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's the campus news update. The Creative Arts Therapy program is in need of students. As a newer undergraduate program, the program is always looking for more students to get involved. As of fall of 2021, West Liberty offers an art therapy and counseling graduate program. This program serves as the next step for undergraduate students in the Creative Arts Therapy program. The Arts Therapy and Counseling program provides students with the necessary education to be a licensed professional within the field of art therapy. Students in this program can take advantage of the Bridge program, which allows undergraduate students to take art therapy and counseling classes. For more information about the Creative Arts Therapy program or the art therapy and counseling programs, contact Dr. Susan Ridley at susan.ridley@westliberty.edu.
West Liberty will offer a new financial planning degree. After being approved by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, the Gary E. West College of Business can now expand their financial degree undergraduate program. Students interested in this educational component of financial planning can now attain their CFP certification. Students interested in this program have other opportunities to get involved in the world of business at WLU. To learn how finances and investments work with real clients, students can participate in the West Banco Investment Club that meets throughout the year. Those interested in the new program should contact Instructor of Finance and General Business, Christina DeWitt.
Last spring, West Liberty University canceled spring break at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Luckily, spring break is happening this year with some of our Hilltop faculty going somewhere a bit exciting. Reporter Annalise Murphy has more on this story.
That's right, Hilltoppers. Spring break is happening as usual this semester, starting on March 5th. I'm standing outside of Shaw Hall today, where I got to speak with President Evans about his spring break plans.
So what is spring break? That's a term that's not in my vocabulary. That is something for our students and faculty. The good thing is that with faculty and students being away, it will give me an opportunity to do some things, clear up some of the desk things.
A little over a year ago, the pandemic hit an all-time high. However, with COVID-19 cases on the decline this spring, President Evans says he feels scheduling a break was a way to bring campus back to a new normal. Jared Thompson, WLU's creative video director, is heading to Savannah, Georgia for the first time.
Over spring break, I'll be heading to Savannah, Georgia, and exploring that area a little bit. It'll be my first time there, and so I'm excited just to get to be away from the Ohio Valley for a little bit and try something different.
Dr. Martina Matuziak, West Liberty's chair for the Department of Media and Visual Arts, isn't just leaving the Ohio Valley this spring break. She plans to leave the country. Tomorrow, Dr. Matuziak is traveling to Spain.
I'll be visiting my best friend from Poland who moved there, and my other best friend from Poland is visiting as well. So we're going to spend the time on the island of Mallorca and relax.
So whether you're going to Spain or just going home for the weekend, stay safe and healthy during your spring break. I'm Annalise Murphy, reporting for Newsline 14 on Topper Station.
Thank you, Annalise. As a reminder, residence halls and apartments close this Friday at 7 in the evening for spring break. Students can return starting Sunday, March 13th at 1 in the afternoon.
Beta Rho Epsilon, a local sorority on campus, is teaming up with the YWCA in the month of March for No More Week. This week takes place between March 6th through the 12th to bring awareness to sexual assault and domestic violence. To honor the survivors, BPE will take part in their selfie campaign. Members of the sorority will take pictures with different signs featuring messages and facts about domestic violence awareness during the entire week. On March 6th, BPE also plans to attend the YWCA's Awareness Walk and Run at Ogilvy starting at 1 p.m. Participation at the event is free, and those present will be entered to win a $100 Visa gift card. Stay tuned for these events to come and help the girls of the sorority bring awareness to domestic violence.
The month of March brings the celebration of Women's History Month, and West Liberty University will be taking part in various activities related to women's history. WLU has wonderful females ranging from our students and professors to our faculty and staff. Dr. Melman Brightwell is an assistant professor of communication in the College of Liberal Arts and Creative Arts. She was recently awarded Best Presenter for the 5th International Conference on the Future of Women 2022. The on-campus events for the month include a ladies' night in the Blanket Gym on March 14th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. and a women's empowerment panel on March 16th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. in the ballroom. For more information regarding women's history, visit womenshistorymonth.gov.
Our lead anchor, Caitlin Reynolds, recently went to the Paint and Sit on Tuesday night. Here's what she had to say about the event.
I'm currently standing in front of the Union where the Paint and Sit was held on Tuesday. The Diversity Committee and the Creative Arts Therapy Club hosted the event. Let's go on and see what they have in store for us. The Paint and Sit was held on Tuesday night at 5 p.m. This event was hosted by the Diversity Committee and the Creative Arts Therapy Club. This event was in honor of Women's Empowerment Month. Terry Giller and the president of the Creative Arts Therapy Club came to this event to teach students and faculty about Georgia O'Keeffe. She was a famous painter that replicated a poppy flower. Many tried this event with hopes of replicating the famous painting.
We'll learn a little bit about Georgia O'Keeffe and her just her contribution to modern art and her experience as a woman artist.
There were drinks that were supplied by Sodexo for people to enjoy while painting. One of the participants tonight, Elizabeth Eames, who is a creative arts therapy major and club member.
Go anyway because you can always meet somebody there and it's good to get out.
Angelica Rogers explains how to deal with going to events alone.
When you're there, make sure you interact with other people so that you get to know people on campus so that you have friends.
The Creative Arts Club is also hoping to host more campus-wide events to help students with stress management. They do have an open studio to use for students to de-stress while painting art. The studio is open on Wednesdays on the 2nd and 4th of the month at 5 to 7 p.m. However, the next open studio date will be on March 23rd because of spring break. I'm Caitlin Reynolds reporting from Newsline 14 on Topper Station. Happen to enjoy a good competitive game, then you will both have something super fun to look forward to. The most popular team-based game that also happens to be both goal-oriented and requires a driver's license. Rocket League will be played at an event this evening from 6 to 9 in the ballroom of the Union. Whether you have an urge for scoring points with some friends or simply want to crash cars into many of other cars, then you'll want to make sure that you show up to these events. These kinds of events act as a phenomenal way to meet new people while also providing a ton of great times. Given this, you'll definitely want to make sure to show up and try your best to destroy fellow peers in a fun game.
Assistant Editor Brianna Hammond has an update on the Trumpet's next publication. Here's what she has to say.
Good afternoon. I am Brianna Hammond, Assistant Editor of the student-run newspaper, The Trumpet. Issue 16 publishes tomorrow. Here's a preview of what you can find. Starting off the news section on page 3, an update from our Editor-in-Chief, Annalise Murphy, on the ever-changing updates taking place between Russia and Ukraine, and a look into a Ukrainian international student's perspective on the attack. Read more on page 3. Next, 4 WLU Geography and Planning students visit Wheeling Heritage and explore the geographical features Wheeling has to offer. The walking tour featured behind-the-scenes efforts of supporting local businesses and restoring historic landmarks. More about what they gained from this experience on page 4. Next up on page 5, a recap of the African American Read-In and African Drum and Dance performance in honor of Black History Month. More information about who was featured at the Read-In on page 5. In the news section on page 6, WLU Fraternities and Sororities host NPHC 101, a program honoring historically Black Greek organizations. The event featured President W. Franklin Evans and Interim Diversity, Equity, and Inclusions Leader, Dr. Monique L. Akasi, both alumni members of NPHC. Starting on page 7 of the Culture section, a look into Women's History Month and the special achievements of female students and faculty at WLU. More on page 7. On the next page, 4 public relations students are teaming up with the Belmont County Animal Shelter to assist in rebranding and social media output for their public relations campaign capstone. More on page 8. On page 9, WLU alumnus Ryan Bernard is fulfilling his post-graduation dream by working as a trooper for the Ohio State Highway Patrol. More about his duties as a patrolman and trooper on page 9. Ending the culture section, this week is a Topper Idol photo page dedicated to the participants and chosen winner, Sarah Booth. The opinion section begins on page 11 with a few reasons why students should get involved and make connections before entering the workforce. Following this article on page 12 is a list of benefits to branching out and gaining volunteer hours as a student. More information on pages 11 and 12. To catch up on all things Hilltopper sports, check out our sports section. This week's sports update starts on page 13 with a recap of the men's and women's latest tennis matches and their 7-0 sweep over Frostburg State University. More about their successful opening to conference play on page 13. Next up, Hilltopper wrestling teams claim NCAA Division II Super Region 3 title and prepares to send 8 members of the team to St. Louis, Missouri for the NCAA Division II National Tournament. More about this on page 14. On the next page, WLU women's basketball sits at 20 wins and 8 losses after defeating the Fairmont Falcons and Wheeling Cardinals in the latest games of the season. Read more on page 15 as they plan to reunite with the Falcons for the MEC quarterfinals. Ending the sports section on page 16, WLU men's basketball team solidifies number 2 ranking in the country after 2 victories against MEC opponents Notre Dame College and Wheeling University. More on page 16. That concludes the Trumpet's updates for this week. To read the Trumpet, issue 16, visit thetrumpetwlu.org. I am Brianna Hammond, reporting for Newsline 14 on Topper Station.
How the West Liberty wrestlers climbed the hill for back-to-back Super Regional Championships, here on Newsline 14.
Liberty can be a hassle. Here are some tips to help you park safely and correctly on campus. First, always display your parking tag. Make sure to park in the correct parking lot. Follow the marked direction of travel. Don't park in visitor parking during the day. Don't park in no parking zones. Don't park in handicap parking. Never park in front of this door. Follow these tips and you'll never have parking problems or tickets again. This message is brought to you by West Liberty University. Parking at West Liberty can be a
Welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I am Sadima Hatole.
And I'm Lainey Lynch. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop in sports.
The NASCAR Cup Series had its second race of the 2022 season last Sunday at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. In what was the first race at the 2-mile oval since 2020, Kyle Larson in the number 5 Chevy held off Austin Dillon and Eric Jones to win the Auto Club 400. This was Larson's first win in the series since winning the championship last year. Austin Cindric, who won last week's race at the Daytona, qualified on the pole for the first time in his career. He would end up finishing the 12th. The biggest wreck of the day happened on lap 158 when Brad Keselowski and Bubba Wallace made contact, spinning out and collecting rookie Harrison Burton. The NASCAR Cup Series returns this Sunday on Fox when they travel to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube.
The Pittsburgh Penguins had another great weekend as they finished off with a victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets this past Sunday. The Pens were down at one point during the game with a score of 2-1 until Evgeny Malkin tied it up at 2 apiece. Captain Sidney Crosby scored the game winner with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third period by battling in front of the net and tapping the puck in to give them the victory with a score of 3-2. Two Penguins were stars of the game as Evgeny Malkin was your first star with 1 goal and assist, while Casey DeSmith was the third star with 34 saves on the night. Penguins are back in action tomorrow on the road against Tampa Bay with puck drop set for 7 p.m.
8 wrestlers qualify for nationals. The West Liberty Hilltopper wrestling team hosted the Super Region 3 Wrestling Championships on Saturday. The Hilltoppers were able to win the team's second straight Super Region 3 team championship. The Hilltopper also qualified 8 wrestlers for the national championships in March. The qualifiers include Cole Laya at 125 pounds, Tyler Warner at 141 pounds, Jordan Waters at 149 pounds, Chase Morgan at 165 pounds, Ty McGeary at 174 pounds, Connor Craig at 184 pounds, Logan Kemp at 197 pounds, and Franceschi Borsellini at 285 pounds. Next up for the Hilltoppers, the NCAA Division II National Championships, which will be held March 11th and 12th in St. Louis, Missouri.
West Liberty softball team struggled during their season opener last Friday with back-to-back losses. The first game of the day was against Kutztown University, and though West Liberty is ranked number 24th in the nation, they lost to the Atlantic Region tournament hosts with a score of 11-1. Kutztown had back-to-back 3-run innings that the Hilltoppers could not keep up with. That night, the Hilltoppers faced Francis Marion University and were able to take a brief lead thanks to multiple doubles by junior Riley Conkle and graduate student Katie Beeman. However, Francis Marion took the lead and won 4-1. The Lady Hilltoppers continue their season this weekend in Mount Oliver, North Carolina.
The women's tennis team served up a 7-0 shutout victory against Frostburg State this past weekend to open Mountain East Conference play. The Hilltoppers did not lose a set in the singles or doubles matches in the impressive spring season opener. The number 1 doubles grouping of Emma Arnold and Evelina March-Rosian combined for a 6-2 victory. The number 2 doubles duo won in a 6-0 victory, while the number 3 doubles duo won the same score as the first duo with a 6-2 victory. It was the same type of domination in the singles matches as Arnold, Martirosian and Cliff had straight set wins at the number 1, 2 and 3 singles. The team is back in action on March 7th for the spring break tournament in Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Sophomore Bryce Butler was just announced as MEC Men's Basketball Player of the Year yesterday. Butler is from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and earned the honor of helping the Hilltoppers basketball team to a 26-2 record, averaging 18.2 points per game. Congrats, Bryce Butler.
This was your sports update with Siddhi Mahatule.
And I'm Lainey Lynch. Chilly weather and rain seems to be in store. Stay tuned as we give the weather update next, here on Newsline 14.
Hey, whoa, hey, man, what are you doing? Hey, man, what are you doing? I don't think you're supposed to drive.
Nah, man, it's all good. My house is like 20 seconds up that street.
It doesn't matter. It's still not a good idea. I don't think you're fit to drive.
Dude, we've been friends for like 10 years, man. Can't you trust me?
That doesn't matter here. I do trust you, but I don't think you're fit to drive.
Well, then, just shut up. Shut up! I can totally drive myself a mile up to my house.
Fine, then. If that's what you want to do, so be it. What the?
Every day in America, another 28 people die as a result of drunk driving crashes. Don't be the next victim.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Annalise Murphy with your campus and national weather updates. Let's see what's going on here on the hilltop. Don't let those sunny skies fool you this afternoon. Grab your umbrellas on your way out the door. Rain is expected later this evening. The temperatures for today will reach a high of 53 and a low of 48, but for now, the weather outside is sitting at a cool 51 degrees with mostly sunny skies. The wind is traveling around 9 miles per hour, making it feel like the temperature is around 48 degrees. Current humidity levels are averaging out at 47%. In the afternoon, you'll start to see the skies cloud up, as I mentioned earlier, as the rain travels across the Ohio Valley. Then later tonight, there is a 60% chance of rain expected to start around 11 p.m., causing the temperature to drop to 48 degrees. The humidity is projected to increase to 72%, and the wind picks up to nearly 13 miles per hour. With the dip in temperature and increase in both humidity and wind speeds, it will feel like 43 degrees outside. So don't forget your coats or umbrellas. Now let's take a look at the temperatures across the United States. Southern California is sitting at a warm 80 degrees. Sorry about that. Northern California is experiencing cooler weather, sitting around 62 degrees. Moving in towards the southwest, the temperatures slowly decrease in comparison to Southern California, as you see here in Utah, where it's sitting around 69 degrees. The air starts to warm up just a bit as we move in towards Texas, which averages out to a comfortable 75 degrees for most of the state. However, these warm temps don't stick around for long as we move up to the Midwestern part of the U.S., where places like Chicago, Illinois, and St. Louis, Missouri sit at a chilly 52 degrees. As we get closer to home, temperatures stay about the same, with the New York sitting at 50 degrees and our home, the Ohio Valley, sitting at 53 degrees. And that concludes this week's campus and national weather update. Up next, we have some sunny skies in our 5-day forecast, so stick around to hear about those warmer temperatures as we head into the weekend. We'll be right back after this break.
Going off to college can be an exciting yet stressful time for students. It's great to know you can bring all your knowledge to college. There's one thing you should know before you leave that some people forget. Microwave safety is something everyone should know. Remember to read instructions carefully and watch the microwave in order to avoid any disasters.
Welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Annalise Murphy with the 5-day forecast. The rain will thankfully stop as we head into Thursday and Friday, but will pick up again around Saturday evening, so don't forget your rain jackets or umbrellas. Now, as we head into tomorrow, the temperature dips down to a chilly 35 degrees for a high and an even chillier 20 degrees for the low. No rain is expected Thursday. Skies will be partly cloudy for most of the Thursday and continue into the evening. Those freezing temperatures won't last for long as it warms up heading into your Friday. During the day, intervals of clouds and sunshine allow for a warmer 42-degree day. However, as we head into Friday night, the temperatures drops to a low of 32 degrees. Again, no rain is forecasted for Friday. Heading into the weekend, on Saturday, the temperature jumps up to a high of 65 degrees during the day. It will be cloudy in the morning with partial sun expected later on. The dreaded rain shows no mercy returning Saturday night with a low of 54 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. Ending the weekend on Sunday, rain is expected early in the day with cloudy skies remaining throughout your evening. You can expect temperatures to reach a high of 39 degrees and a low of 27 degrees on Sunday night. Starting off your week on Monday, temperatures will reach a high of 58 degrees and a low of 36 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies and scattered rain are projected for most of your Monday afternoon and evening. And that concludes our 5-day forecast. I'm Annalise Murphy, reporting the weather update for Newsline 14 on Topper Station. Have a fun spring break, Hilltoppers. Back to you, Caitlin.
Yes, spring break is next week, so enjoy the week off from school, Hilltoppers. Thank you for watching this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
And I'm Anya Ritz. We'll see you back in 2 weeks on Wednesday, March 16th at 2 p.m. here on Newsline 14.